Roger, thanks very much. And if Angelina has something to say to us, she's plenty welcome to come here in a factor and tell me right to my face. Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening. Big rock and roll controversy. Who is blocking the Monkees from being in the Rock Hall of Fame? Lead singer Davy Jones will be here. And Bernie and Jane on Dan and Katie. And the finish. Thanks for coming in, Dave.
Thank you.
We come back. Bernie and Jane on the Dan Rather, Katie Couric controversy. And then banning the Monkees from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why do some people want to do that? Moments away. Do it. If it's just another boom, there's no point, in my opinion. Jane, Bernie, as always, thank you. Coming next, Monkees sold millions of records, but some don't want them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Lead singer Davy Jones in a moment. Back in the book segment tonight, in 1966, a TV show featuring the pop group The Monkees debuted on NBC. It became a huge hit. Subsequently, the Monkees sold 65 million records. The group had 4 straight #1 albums. Despite that success, a movement to ban the Monkees from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland is being led apparently by Rolling Stone magazine. Joining us now from Miami is the lead singer of the Monkees, Davy Jones. FoxNews.com reports that Jan Wenner, whatever, the editor, he doesn't like me either, so don't be insulted, just thinks that the Monkees were a contrived showbiz invention, not a real rock group, don't deserve a Hall of Fame, and that he's behind keeping you guys out. What do you think?
Well, you know, I haven't really thought much about it until this occasion. I guess he must be in charge. He's the one that makes these decisions.
He's got a lot of influence.
Yeah, I guess he does, yeah, because but if he doesn't like you, well, how could he like me?
That's what you know, you're absolutely right. But you guys sold 65 million records. I mean, come on. And well, with all due respect to a lot of the groups in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they don't come close to what you guys did as far as the commercial aspect of it.
Well, you know, it's the Rock and Roll Museum or Hall of Fame, whatever they call it. I don't know. I mean, back in the '60s, it was amazing times. You know, we toured. I remember, you know, touring with Jimi Hendrix and Tina Turner and the Fifth Dimension and lots of other great bands. You know, sitting around having great times together. You know, Jimi Hendrix, what a great player he was. You know, he didn't really play the guitar left-handed. That was just part of his show.
Now, you were considered kind of a bubblegum group, though, with Last Train from Clarksville and kind of the soft rock songs. Did you guys see yourself as legitimate rock group or kind of a pop phenomenon?
Well, you know, I think good things stand the test of time, and I think the Monkees has proved that. As far as being a legitimate group, I don't really know what is in show business. It's a business, and therefore you've got to present yourself in the way that people enjoy it. You know, I go out to perform about 30, 40 concerts a year, and but back in the '60s, when I suppose these opinions were gathered about being sort of like a manufactured image with no philosophies, we were still doing it. I still believe I'm rock and roll. I can give you lots of stories, talk about the times we sat around, you know, passing the joint in the room there, whatever, and watching the rest of the world go by. It's pretty much been
so you consider yourself
career.
More of a rocker than an actor?
Well, you know, you've got to be a bit of an actor to be a rocker too, because a lot of it's what you present.
One more question for you.
Yeah.
I don't think people remember that it was almost like an American Idol thing to put you 4 guys together, that you had to go through auditions and they were selecting just the right guys to kind of like be a sitcom Beatles.
That's exactly right. It was a hard day's night on television every week. It had no storyline. It had no plot. It was just a fun time that kids could be, you know, sort of getting something out of the refrigerator at the same time as watching the TV show. So there was there's no undercover sort of a presentation that we didn't put out right in front of their eyes. It was a great fun time, and I'm sure that you used to run home from school and watch it yourself.
I wasn't a big Monkees fan because I don't know why I wasn't, but I tell you now, I like your records better now that I'm an old guy. You know, they're on the oldie stations all the time. And you know what, Mr. Jones? You guys deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You deserve it.
Thank you very much.
You're a phenomenon. You know, you're around. People still hum your tunes. So you guys got to be in there, and I'm going to try to make it happen for you. And we'll talk to you again. Thank you for coming on.
All right. All the best. Bye-bye.
Next, we'll wrap things up with the most ridiculous item and summary now.
This is not